What's going on, guys? Zeo here from the Awesome Nerd Show, and today we're looking at the new Power Rangers Lightning Collection, Lord Zedd and Rita Repulsa, the wedding 2-pack to celebrate the 25th anniversary of the episodes of the wedding where Rita and Zedd married each other. So we get a figure of each and then a bunch of accessories to go with it, some wedding pieces and stuff, features from the show. So all very cool, and this was a GameStop exclusive, so we ordered it off there and it just arrived. So very cool looking set. So we've already had a Lord Zedd, and looking at this figure compared to the one we already had, it's exactly the same. So that's a little unfortunate that we didn't get anything new or updated about it, so that's a little bit disappointing. But then the Rita is also really cool that we're finally getting a Rita, so that is awesome. And to just go along with this set, we also have the Putty Patroller 2-pack. This was from Hasbro Pulse, and this is like an army builder set. So this set was a little bit cheaper. This was only like $30 or something for this, and then you get a 2-pack of putties. So you can buy multiples of these and then, you know, build a whole putty army and stuff. Come with some accessories you can see there, but not nearly as decorated in the box and everything, so you can't really see the actual putties inside. But we've had the putties before, so nothing new there either, just the accessories that they come with. So we've got that thrown in from Hasbro Pulse as well. So we got these 2-packs, which of course fit perfectly together, since we can have like a whole wedding scene with the bride and groom and then some guests at the wedding, so that's pretty cool. So let's go and open these and check these figures out. So here we got all the figures out, and they look pretty cool, I have to say. So of course the Zedd, as I mentioned, is pretty much exactly the same that we've had before, as well as the putties are the same, so nothing different really to look at there. But the Rita looks really nice. Her face is a little bit weird, but I still don't think it looks too bad, especially for what they've been doing with the Power Rangers. Like the unmasked heads look horrible to me, but to me she doesn't look too bad. It doesn't look like Rita, but it doesn't look bad with this body, so pretty cool for that. But of course the main focus of this here is the Zedd and Rita 2-pack. Again, it's based off the wedding episodes from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Season 2. So just for some backstory, so the episodes were number 41, 2, and 3, and they took place over February 13, 14, and 15th of 1995, so that's why we have the 25th anniversary, of course, was early this year. And the whole storyline is about Zedd and Rita marrying each other. So throughout these episodes, we have Rita returning from her banishment from Lord Zedd when he appeared at the beginning of Season 2, where he placed her back into her dumpster and sent her out into space. Well, she ended up crashing back into the Moon Palace right at the perfect time when Zedd was going into his Centennial recharge. So he has to shut down for a while and get his energy and everything all charged back up, so she came back right at that perfect moment. And so Rita comes up with the plan to pump a love potion into Zedd's rejuvenation chamber, and so when Zedd wakes up, he's got a deep love for Rita, and they end up getting married, and Zedd orders Goldar to set up the whole wedding and makes him the worst man. Which, oh, of course, I forgot to get Goldar to put with this to make it the whole perfect wedding part, but oh well, I forgot that. So Finster ends up marrying the two together, and they officially become a married couple, with the plans for their honeymoon being to watch the Power Rangers be destroyed. So that kind of gives you the whole backstory on what these episodes were about and what this whole wedding thing is to deal with. So we'll start off with Lord Zedd, and he was always one of my favorite characters from the show. He's probably my favorite villain until Ivan Ooze. I think Ivan Ooze is amazing, but Zedd is definitely in that second place. So he's considered to be the Emperor of Evil, and he's the ruler over Rita and Goldar and all their minions. And it was said that many years ago he was trying to take the Zeo crystal, which they ended up doing in the later seasons. But since the crystals had a protective force field around it, when he went to grab for him, it ended up burning off all of his skin, so that left him looking the way he does. So he's pretty much just all muscle, and then he's pretty much got like this metal exoskeleton keeping him together. And as I mentioned, in Season 2, he appears to, because he's coming to conquer Earth and take over from Rita, since she has failed him, and that's why he banished her, and he's coming to take over and do the job that she couldn't. So the actual figure itself, as I mentioned, is exactly the same as we've had before. I assumed they would make some changes to him and everything, but they're pretty much exactly the same. So again, the body wise is just pretty much all muscle, has the metal exoskeleton, so he has like the rib cage design there, the clavicle, of course his face with this whole helmet there that's nice silver, has the visor on it, and the prong that comes up to the Z, and then of course the brain up there at the top, which is cool. And then he has the tubes, which I assume are pumping like his blood or just some fluids through it, and there's a nice blue color and everything, and they go through his body, so they're nice thin plastic, so they have a little bit of stretch to them, but I assume they'd probably break pretty easily, which we'll see that when we do movements. And speaking of, so for movements, his head can twist there all the way around, and he can look down that far and up that far, so pretty decent. Then at the shoulders, he does have a butterfly joint, so it can go back and forth there, and the shoulders come up a little tiny bit over 90 degrees and can rotate a little bit, but again, because of the tubes, you can't stretch it too far. Then we've got the bicep twist and a double elbow joint that only comes up about that far, so not too bad, with the wrist that twists all the way around and flex back and forth. And then we go to his crunch, so has an upper ab crunch there, so he can crunch a little bit forward, a little bit back, so not a whole lot of range, but it also has a twist in there, but again, you can't twist too far. And then he has that lower crunch in there, so he can crunch forward a little bit more, so he can crunch really far over and pretty decently back, but again, these tubes are getting real taut. And then the legs come up about 90 degrees there, and then out to the side about that far has the thigh twist and a double knee joint, but again, it's hard to get the knees to bend too much because these tubes are stretched really tight. And with these, you can pop them out, so if you want to get better movement, you can like undo them, and then you can get a much better range of movement. And then if they reach, you could pop them back in at that point. And then just at the bottom, we have the foot that flexes back and forth there and can twist side to side. And again, just for comparison, here is the older Zedd 2, and you can tell they look pretty much exactly the same. The new one may be a little bit lighter in color, maybe they went with like a deeper red or something, where this one looks a little bit palish, but could probably be dust and stuff on it. But other than that, they look exactly the same, have all the exact same movements and stuff, so not a whole lot different going between the two. And for Zedd, we have some accessories. So first off, we got some hands. So he has a fist hand and then a grip hand. Of course, he's got two kind of open grip hands on there now, but then a grip hand to be able to hold his staff. And speaking of, we do have his Z staff here, which is pretty cool. And so I like it's got the Z up on the top and the nice sharp point there at the bottom, so we can put that in his hand. Again, he has just the normal grip hand, so that hand can hold it. It's just not as steady, so that's why we can switch it out for the other hand. So there we go, got the staff in there now, which with a much better grip. That grip is so tight on that, which is really nice to have. And also for the staff, he does have one of the Hasbro effects, so just like these weird lightning effects, so you can just take and stick on the end of the Z there, so it's him doing some of his powers and everything on it. Again, I hate these things because they don't stick on too well, and then they get loose and everything. I can't even hardly get it on currently, but it just kind of sticks on the end there, so again, nothing too exciting about that. And finally, he comes with the growth bomb, so of course the little bombs that he throws off at the monsters, and it makes them grow and everything, and that you can just take and kind of stick into his hand there. So that's pretty cool overall that he's got that, so that is awesome there for Zedd. And next up, we've got Rita, and as I mentioned, she's kind of like one of the henchwomen from Lord Zedd, so she falls under him, and so she's a powerful sorceress. And so while Zedd is off in the galaxy trying to conquer other planets, she comes to Earth to try and conquer it. So of course she has to defeat the Power Rangers and Zordon, and of course this was many years ago, and Zordon ended up defeating her and trapping her into a dumpster and being sent off into galaxy, where she crashed on the moon until eventually some astronauts opened it up and freed her, and so she was able to try to conquer Earth once again. So she took up residence in the Moon Palace and set out to destroy the Power Rangers by sending monsters down to Earth to eventually defeat them, but she of course always fails. So the Rita here itself actually looks really good, looks almost spot on. So I love her hair there, of course has the nice big like points coming up where her hair are wrapped up and everything with the leather, and her whole headdress there that has the jewel on the center and the little straps that come down there. And there's a look at her face. As I've mentioned, the face doesn't look too good, like especially to the show, but I don't think it looks bad at all for like a face. You know, it looks like a monster's face. Her nose looks really weird. It's almost like a piggish style nose, but of course she's doing her evil looks there with her eyes all weird and her mouth and with her teeth showing stuff that she's all angry, because of course it's Rita and she's always angry and probably has a headache as usual. But then her outfit just looks spot on. So she has the all brown dress on. I like how it even has the details on it there with the silver, so that's there on the front, and even has some of it there on her sleeves and stuff, so that's pretty cool. She has the nice tail part or whatever it's supposed to be there on the back, and the white that's like feathery and stuff on the back there that she always had. That looks really nice hanging off the back, which is coming off the back of like her vest, which has the big nice color there around it with the gold details of like the stars looking design and the blue feathers, which look cool. Then of course on her chest, the always noticeable part that she has like the Madonna pointy breast there, which always looks weird for like a kid showing stuff, but nice gold details around it, and then some like dangling parts there. And then on her wrist she has like these gold bands and stuff, has some dangling parts off of, so that's nice. She's got both of those on both hands, and then on her fingers she's got some nice rings on each finger too, so she's all decked out and everything and looking really nice. So for her movements though, her head can twist there side to side, a little bit of issues because of her whole headdress part, but it can twist probably all the way around there with some bending, and then she can look down not really far but look up that far, so pretty decent. And then of course under the dress it's hard to see all of her movements, but it looks like she's got a butterfly joint there maybe, and then the shoulders come up a little over 90 degrees, can rotate within there too. And then she's got what I assume to be a single elbow joint by the range of movements, so there's it straight and there it can bend up pretty much to just 90 degrees, with the wrist that can twist all the way around, and then has some flexing, but it's hard to flex with these bands around her arm. In the middle there she has some sort of ab crunch, again hard to see. You can probably see if you lift up the dress there, yeah, it just looks like the normal ab crunch, so she can crunch back and forth, and then has a twist up in there as well. And then her legs can come up 90 degrees there and off to the side pretty far, and she does have a thigh twist up in there, a double knee joint that comes up about that far, so not too bad. A twist right there at the top of her boot, and then the foot of course flexes back and forth and twists side to side. So again, a nice looking figure overall. This is definitely the best thing to get from this set, is to have this Rita, since you know we've already had Zedd and everything. It's nice to finally get this Rita. So as a firm, we have her accessories. So of course we've got her wand, so her nice looking wand there has of course the nice circle thing around the top with the hole through it. Looks almost like a crescent moon and everything. Has the red jewel or dot there thing in the middle, then all sorts of stuff coming down off it into a staff. And of course we know with her staff she likes to throw it, you know, down there by the monsters, and it makes them grow and everything, so that's cool. But we'll go and slide this into her hand. So there she's got the staff, and then we also have additional hands. So we have just like her open hand, like kind of like grasping hand, which of course course, that's always the thing with Rita in the show. She'd always have her hand like this, and she'd be like, get them and stuff, and she'd always do that hand. And then for her other hand, she has just a fist one, and of course, they still have all the rings there on her fingers. There we now have what I'd say the happily married couple, but of course, we know between them, they argue all the time. But we get some other accessories that go perfect with them for the wedding. So we have their wedding cake, and again, I wish I had a little table I could sit this on, but there's their wedding cake. Looks all weird and gross. It's all gray. I don't know if it was this color of gray in the show or not, but it looks a little bit weird. Has a spider up there on the top, and then two little figures there of Zedd and Rita. And supposedly when I was reading this, the little figures they used up here were the actual like prototypes or whatever for the toys. So like the Zedd action figure, they never made a Rita, so that didn't really work, but the Zedd was actually like the prototype or the actual figure itself, which was cool. So their nice wedding cake there. We've got a bouquet of flowers for Rita, so we can go ahead and actually stick that into her hand. We also get the bottle of love potion, so you can see it has the little heart there at the top of it, and then it's just a blue vial and stuff. So we got the love potion there, and then we also have these crystals, which I don't know what these crystals are for, if it was a part of like Zedd rejuvenation or something. I'm not 100% sure, but it's nice little crystals. You know, it seems like something you'd find in their palace, but as I mentioned, I don't remember these at all, but I obviously assume it's from something in the show. But it's pretty cool, these nice green crystals. So now that we've looked at Zedd and Rita, we'll go ahead and look at their counterparts there of the two putties. So here we've got the two putties again in like the whole army builder pack, and they're the exact same, so we're only really gonna have to look at one. The one thing that is different though is you see their chest details. They are a little bit different. I thought when these first were coming out that they'd maybe be the Zedd putties with the Z's on them, but they still have like the normal star logo there, and so they're the Rita putties still and have the exact same details with the red eyes, the weird mouth details there that remind me of like Finster and stuff. So I don't know if he detailed them after himself, but then just all light gray bodies, have the rockish style hands, so you can see the hands there that look like rocks, and then the darker gray boots at the bottom. And so just for their movements real quick, with their heads can twist there all the way around, can look down, look up. They have butterfly joints there, and the shoulders do come up about 90 degrees and can rotate around. Got the bicep twist, the double elbow joint that comes up that far, and then right at the top of the arm here, they do twist around there. Then we've got the upper ab crunch there and twist, and then the lower ab crunch there. Of course, their belt always gets twisted around. Legs come up 90 degrees, the thigh twist, double knee joint that far, twist at the top of the boot, the shin there, and then the foot flexes back and forth and twists side to side. So pretty standard for putties there, but the cool thing is that they come with some additional accessories. So we've had these before. We get the rock hand and then the blade hand here with their hands are morphed into these different versions. So we can go and put one of each of these on them. So there you can switch out the hands, which we had with the past putty before. They came with both of those that you could switch out. And speaking of, here is the older putty. So this came with the Green Ranger in that Fighting Spirit pack. So this is the original putty, and again, the one I have here just has that blade hand on it. So the only real difference I've noticed is that the rock hands don't seem to be the same colors, at least the attachments and stuff. These hands seem about the same, so just like the normal hands, but the other parts seem real darker. Like on the newer ones, they're much darker color, and then they have the different designs. So like the Fighting Spirit ones all had this sort of design, and you can see it's different between the other two. But that's really the only difference between them. But the new putties do come with additional accessories. So like on the blade one, it has this accessory, which we got with the old one. It was just a different color, but this one's a nice bright orange color, and we just stick that on the end of the blade. So it just sticks on the end of there like that. And then the other cool thing that we come with is this cool effect that you can wrap around the putty. So it's like when the Power Rangers, you know, you just like punch them, which it even has like some indentation. I don't know if you can really see that with the color, but indentation right in there. So like when they punch in, then the putties start to, you know, disappear and stuff before they fall apart. So it's cool. You can just take this and wrap it around the putty, just push it on there, and it goes up over his shoulders and around the sides there, and just kind of sticks onto the front there. So that's pretty cool that it's got that effect on it too. So that's pretty cool to have that for the two putty packs. Well, that's gonna be it for this Power Rangers Lightning Collection set, where we got the Zedd and Rita Wedding 2-pack for the 25th anniversary from GameStop, and then the two putties from the Putty Army Builder from Hasbro Pulse, which is really cool to have that. So you can buy those to get more putties if you want. So pretty cool for these two sets, and I love the whole thing to go together. Like I said, I just need to bring gold art, and we'd be able to, you know, like recreate the wedding scene and stuff. So pretty cool sets overall. But let me know your opinions in the comments down below, because like I said, with this Zedd and Rita pack, the Rita is definitely like the best thing from this. And so if you want a Rita, this is the best place to get it. I assume they'll probably eventually sell it by itself. So until then, this is definitely a good place to have it. But of course, we just have another Zedd, exact same Zedd, nothing different about it. So that's a little bit disappointing. But actually, look at the one thing that is different with the Zedd is that they painted like his finger parts. They didn't do that on the old one. So like on there on his fingertips and like on his knuckles there. So besides that, that's the only real thing I can see that's different. And the putties are awesome, as I said. So let me know your opinions in the comments, and hit that subscribe button while you're down there, please. But I hope you enjoyed this review. If you did, be sure to check out our last Power Rangers Lightning collection of the Psycho Rangers on the left and all our Power Ranger collection on the right. Thank you all for watching. Remember, stay awesome out there, and I will see you next time.